My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N-O''H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. At 6:51 p.m., Minneapolis police received a 911 call reporting a shooting on the 600 block of 24 Avenue North. Preliminary information indicates that there was a struggle with a federal agent in front of the resident. During the struggle, the federal agent discharged his weapon, striking one adult male. The adult male then retreated inside of the residence, where he remained inside and refused to come out. Eventually, federal agents made entry into the residence, and the individual was brought to an ambulance where he has been transported to the hospital. Minneapolis police have secured the crime scene around the location, and the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, as well as the FBI, are on the scene processing the evidence. There's a crowd gathered in the area, and we have called for mutual aid from the Minnesota State Patrol and Hennepin County Sheriff. The crowd is engaging in unlawful acts. They have thrown fireworks at police officers, and at multiple times, gas has been deployed. Police are attempting to disperse this unlawful assembly at this time. I urge anyone that is at the scene to leave immediately. This is already a very tense situation, and we do not need this to escalate any further. I have faith that the investigators are involved will follow every lead in this case and ensure it is completed to its logical conclusion.
Hey, welcome back to Greatest Media. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Thanks so much for being here. We have got all sorts of things to discuss today as Tim Walz is doubling down on stupid. It is absolutely amazing to see. The man, A, does not have, I believe, a moral bone in his body, and nor is he very intelligent either. He is a complete dimwit. I mean, Tampon Tim is out in force. It's just really amazing. But I really appreciate everybody rolling up. Please let us know you're here in the comments. Like, subscribe if you haven't already, or wait till the end of the video. And if you like what you see, then subscribe. But we really appreciate everybody being here. It's a great Friday, but we've got lots to discuss with what is going on in Minneapolis. So what you just heard was the police chief of Minneapolis basically adding a little bit of sanity to the whole situation, with the moron Jacob Fry standing behind him, grimacing at every point because the police chief wasn't necessarily mimicking the ridiculous liberal pro-immigration narrative that's been going on for the entire time. Unlike Tim Walz, who's been out there begging protesters to show up, get in ISIS's face. Guys, this is what happens when you get in the face of federal law enforcement. Bad things are going to happen. And with that, we're going to dive into Walz's Fry needs to resign. Tracy Bennett, thanks so much for showing up. Really appreciate you being here. You're right. Fry absolutely needs to resign. But frankly, I think even worse than that. I think Fry and Walz both need to be arrested for impeding federal operations. Now, check this out from Walz himself. This is absolutely nuts. Here's Walz telling protesters to get in people's face.
ICE agents cannot conduct these activities. You can help. So carry your phone with you at all times. Help us establish a record. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. To peacefully help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans. So carry not just to establish a record for posterity. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. The third thing I want to say to you tonight is we will not have to live like this. ICE agents cannot conduct these activities. You can help.
Interesting. So why is that?
So carry your phone with you at all times. Help us establish a record. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record.
All right. So you heard it yourself there from the Minister of Losers, Tim Walz. Hey, take out your phone. Go stalk these ICE officers. Go find out what they're doing. Follow them around. No, that's exactly what Miss Good did at the behest of her lesbian partner. They went out and they stalked ICE, and they figured, you know what? We are absolutely, going to figure out, we're going to figure out where these people are. We're going to impede their operations. We're going to stalk them. We're going to film them. And then bad things happened because instead of following the orders of ICE officers to get out of her car after she parked it perpendicular on a road, blocking all traffic, she tried to run over an ICE officer. Now, whether she actually intended to run over the ICE officer doesn't matter. She accelerated her vehicle as a deadly weapon into an ICE officer, hitting him, causing internal injuries, and was shot in the process. Now we have another ICE officer, this one involved in detaining a Venezuelan illegal criminal when he was attacked not only by the Venezuelan illegal criminal who resisted arrest, but by two other people who came out of an apartment and started beating the ICE officer with a broomstick and with a snow shovel. When that happened, the ICE officer was forced to discharge his weapon in self-defense, hitting the migrant that he was trying to capture. Both of them are in the hospital, and the other two gentlemen, I use the word loosely, have now been arrested. This is the kind of nonsense that Tim Walz is sparking in Minneapolis. It's absolutely egregious. Check this out from Fox News.
That's what you get when you come to Minnesota.
From here on out.
Wow. F ICE, and the only good agent is a dead agent? That, my friends, right there is a call to violence. And those people need to be arrested. This is crazy. Remember, the Democrats rounded up 1,600 people on J6 for doing absolutely nothing. You might have been legally, ethically able to arrest maybe 15, 20 people, maybe. But they arrested 1,600 on trumped up charges. And now you've got this going on. Arrests need to be in the hundreds at this point. This is absolutely egregious. Jesse Waters has a lot to say about this.
It's J6 every night in Minneapolis after the call went out from Governor Walz.
And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record.
Timmy came out last night and told the mommy mob to hit the streets and stalk agents with cameras. The only thing you're not allowed to record are Somali fraud rings.
Oh, yeah, don't do that. No, you can't do that. You can't record people actually stealing $9 billion and sending it to terrorists. No. Don't do that.
This time, the crowd looked a little gnarlier, if you can believe it. It looked like a big Antifa reunion. And they were doing a lot more than just recording. They broke into an FBI vehicle and used a tow rope to rip out a weapons locker.
Hey, don't hit them.
Masked vigilantes looted the car, stole a weapon, bulletproof vests, and stacks of sensitive government documents. These documents had names of federal agents and their locations. The rioters immediately exploited the intel and began doxing agents online. This was a major intelligence breach.
Every single one of these people not only needs to be arrested, they need to be arrested on terrorism charges, and I would rendition them to Guantanamo Bay. Stop playing games with these fools. This is absolutely egregious. Doxing agents, stealing weapons. This is insurrection type stuff right here. And this is thanks to Timmy Tampon Tim and Jacob Fry. This is ridiculous. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Homan just announced they've arrested the perpetrator, and he's going to face felony charges. But countless federal agents' lives are now in danger. Meanwhile, Homan's family's getting death threats, and the ICE agent who got rammed by Renee was forced into hiding. And left-wing militants are joining forces, threatening the lives of federal police. Here are the Black Panthers.
I put a hole in their chest the size of a window. We're a little more aggressive now, you dig? You want to correct the ideology of the pig and the mentality of the slave catcher, you meet them with equal force.
You've got the minivan militia, the Black Panthers, Antifa, and now the bad hombres feel like they have backup. Yesterday, ICE was attacked by a group of violent Biden migrants. 3 Venezuelan nationals jumped an ICE agent with weapons. All 3 were caught and released by Biden and had been harbored in the sanctuary city of Minneapolis. Julio was the target. A traffic stop turned into a vehicle pursuit. He crashed, then fled on foot. When the agent caught him, his two Venezuelan amigos came out and started hitting the agent with a snow shovel and a broom handle.
This is the incident we were talking to you about. This is exactly what prompted another exchange of gun, not an exchange, but basically ICE was forced in order to defend themselves to discharge their firearm. And check out what the media are saying about it.
The officer was forced to fire off a defensive shot, hitting Julio in the leg before the three of them ran into an apartment and barricaded themselves inside. Eventually, they all got iced. But this hombre, Julio, doesn't seem like he has any regrets. Here he is grinning ear to ear at the hospital. This is who the left is trying to protect. Violent Venezuelans with criminal histories. The media, too. Look at this headline from the Times. Federal agent shoots man in Minneapolis. A man in Minneapolis. That's how the media stokes.
They're going back to, oh, he's a Maryland father. He's a Maryland. No, he's an illegal criminal alien who is guilty of human trafficking and all sorts of other crimes. This particular gentleman, I'm not exactly sure what crime he had already committed, but he was an illegal Venezuelan criminal migrant. And in attempting to arrest him, the ICE officer was attacked by him and two others with weapons. And in discharging his firearm in self-defense, the media tells us, oh, no, he shot a man. Just like the egregious media told us when Renee Good was shot, that ICE murdered her. No, absolutely not. That is called self-defense. And in this particular case, again, it is self-defense, but the media will never tell you that. The globalist, corruptocrat propaganda media is all in for destroying the United States of America, for maintaining 50 million criminal migrants here and destroying the country. Do not let them. This is absolutely crazy. Well, it gets even worse now because Tampon Timmy Walz is doubling down on stupid. He's doubling down on violence, and he's doubling down on a potential major problem, a potential insurrection, a potential civil war. Check this out.
Other than my primary responsibility as governor is the protection of the people of Minnesota. And you can be assured, whether it's the State Patrol or whether it's the National Guard, their deployment is there to protect Minnesotans from whatever it is. If it's an act of nature, if it's a global pandemic, or in this case, if it is a rogue federal agent. I don't know at this time, and I want to be very careful. Other than my...
Listen to what he said. So Tim Walz has told everybody that he is getting ready to deploy the National Guard. Now, as he said, it's my job to protect Minnesotans from, a weather event, a national disaster, a global pandemic, which, you know how he protected Minnesotans from a global pandemic, other than stealing $9 billion, was shooting people on their porch who dared step out of their house during his little martial law stint. No. He's talking about deploying the National Guard to protect Minnesotans from rogue federal agents. I say do it, Tampon Timmy. Do it right now. Make it happen. Deploy the National Guard. And when that happens, I hope Trump marches in with the FBI and absolutely perp walks him right out of his office, right into federal prison, and charges him with actual insurrection, with actual civil war. Because you cannot... Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I don't know that they would arrest him. I'm not even sure he'll call the National Guard out. I think he's bluffing because I think he realizes that that is a massive problem. First of all, it would never actually happen the way he wants. There would be no Minnesota National Guard protecting citizens from rogue federal agents because the minute he called the National Guard, Trump would federalize it. Let's be real. Trump is not dumb. Trump is not going to let ICE face off against the Minnesota National Guard, who probably wouldn't even have a clue what they were doing. Like, what are we doing? Who are we out here against? Unless Tim Walz has some very loyal, ultra-lib officers in the Minnesota National Guard, which is quite possible. I don't ever see it happening. I don't see the Minnesota Guard actually doing it. But if they tried, Trump could immediately federalize them. and be like, nope, this isn't happening. And then, of course, if this ever got to that point, you would have serious ramifications in terms of insurrection and civil war. You want federal law enforcement officers and the National Guard facing off against one another? That is not going to end well, Tampon Timmy. But I say give it a shot. I say call up the National Guard, because once you do so, you are guilty of insurrection. You are guilty of impeding federal operations. Make it happen. And please, Tom Homan, walk there yourself and arrest the man. Let me know what you think in the comments. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. This situation in Minneapolis, I believe, is only going to get worse before it gets better. I think Trump's going to have to call in the National Guard, whether it's Minnesota or from other states, to protect the ICE officers there. Now, Pam Bondi has already called in the Federal Prison Riot Police, which is a very specialized group of people who are trained in putting down riots in federal prisons. They've been called in to protect ICE from the massive protests and the massive riots that have been going on. So we'll see how that goes. But the next step would be National Guard presence. Let me know what you think in the comments. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Thanks so much for being here on a Friday. You guys are awesome. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share Courageous Media with everybody that you know. Hey, in the midst of all this, God is good and He is sovereign. He is in control. And this will all end well. Hey, if it's not good, it's not yet good. It's not yet the end. Until I catch you next time.